wake up, baby, it's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's chipping pain. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts, it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap I take it you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. Everywhere we give our all. Everywhere, forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. In nights that you are gone, for you're always so near to my own. It will look so late by in river. Whoa, whoa. In the blue, our spirits fly. With every cheer, we touch the sky. In this love, we find our way. Chelsea forever, day by day. Whoa, Chelsea stands tall. Cover up with the hand. We give our all. Chelsea, forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. Hey, go wake up, baby, it's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's chipping pain. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts, it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap I take it you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. Everywhere we give our all. Everywhere, yeah. Forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. In nights that you are gone, for you're always so near to my own. It will look so late by in river. Whoa, whoa. In the blue, our spirits fly. With every cheer, we touch the sky. In this love, we find our way. Chelsea forever, day by day. Whoa, Chelsea stands tall. Cover up with the hand. We give our all. Chelsea, forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. Hey, go wake up, baby, it's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's chipping pain. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts, it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap I take it you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. that you were gone. 3 hours so near to my own. It was like so late by in river. Whoa, whoa. In the blue, our spirits fly. With every cheer, we touch the sky. In this love, we find our way. Chelsea forever, day by day. Oh, Chelsea, Chelsea stands on. Cover up with the hand. We give our all. Chelsea, forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. Hey, go wake up, baby. It's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's cheering play. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts, it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap by, take it you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. Everywhere we give our all. Everywhere, yeah, yeah, yeah. Forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. In nights that you were gone, 3 hours so near to my own. It was like so late by in river. Whoa, whoa. In the blue, our spirits fly. With every cheer, we touch the sky. In this love, we find our way. Chelsea forever, day by day. Oh, Chelsea, Chelsea stands on. Cover up with the hand. We give our all. Chelsea, forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. Hey, go wake up, baby. It's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's cheering play. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts, it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap by, take it you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. Everywhere we give our all. Everywhere, yeah, yeah, yeah. Forever but true. Together we rise, just me and you. In nights that you were gone, 3 hours so near to my own. It was like so late by in river. Whoa, whoa. In the blue, our spirits fly. With every cheer, we touch the sky. In this love, we find it's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, let's chip and play. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not tonight. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts, it's Chelsea, me and you, we can dream. Oh, take me out and stand with you, privilege you talk. When to tap, I take it you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. Everywhere we give our all. Everywhere, yeah. Forever we're true. We must be. Together we rise, just me and you. In nights that you will go home. For you.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. I do hope you're all doing well, and I appreciate you all finding the time to be with me for this edition of a Chelsea match review, where we discuss, dissect, and analyze what happened against Arsenal at the Emirates. But despite the way, before we do that, we'll go for news hunting, look at what has happened out there, emerging news items, and also talk about Wesley Fofana being racially abused. But before that, I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you, and thank you so much for finding the time to share this moment with me. Before we continue, I'm going to say hello to all of you to see how you are all doing. Nehemiah Fowler is losing his SHIT. And sometimes I am quick to respond to comments. Quick to respond to comments on our videos of community posts. But damn, every second you get one comment from the mindful, sometimes 15 comments in 1 second. But that's, by the way, here is Mark Gui. Graphic user interface plus a U. Maresca is just another Grand Porter. If we stick with him, one day he's gonna say, boys gave it all. For me to join the gang of people wanting him to be gone. Our issues are bigger than the man in question. We could have been better off had it not been that we let some players leave and then ended up losing two strikers in a single game. But that's just my opinion anyway. We move on from that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 2 likes. We can do a lot better than that. Long contract causing this no motivation performance. I mean, it's you could say it's that particular comment on the screen there. I mean, if one doesn't take time, it will start making sense to them, because yeah, it plays with one's mind using something that they're familiar with. So yeah, but I'm not sure what to make of that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I'm looking at the output. It doesn't look like it's showing what I want it to be showing. It's showing something else. I'm not sure why that is the case. But that's, by the way, Nehemiah Fowler says it's done, and he's saying here, I just pray sporting directors get sacked. I don't trust them anymore. The sporting directors, I cannot guarantee if they'd have a job next season, but certainly Maresca will be here. Certainly KDH will not be sold. Some of the things you guys think will change come 25-26 season will not change. Change of ownership? Nope. Never going to happen. And I told people that if the new director doesn't want Maresca, he can F off. Do I think Maresca, the new director, would want a change? I don't think so. Probably the directors might still be here next season. Nehemiah might well. I think it'd be correct to say he's the new panic bus driver. But that's just my opinion anyway. All right, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We are just 15 minutes into the show. We have a total of 8 people following the show. None on YouTube. The rest divided between X and Facebook, I'm guessing. And Kim, so yeah, we do need an answer to that question. Maresca Dop, not a new thing for you. And here's how well I know you. We win games your all praises for the players who lose games, you start losing your shit, and sometimes you get so angry that you'd want even the owners out. And you usually start such comments with the word two-word sentence, three-word sentence. I am done. Uh, two-word sentence maybe, but you get it. Maresca has lost me. Why shake hands with Timber? Did you know what was said between the two of them? You know, at one point you could see him covering his mouth. Chances are he said something even worse to Timber, and for them to have shaken hands, which means at some point they both agreed they were wrong to given what they've said to each other. Maresca covers his mouth, so lip readers weren't able to read what he said to Timber before Timber said, try harder. And shaking hands with me, for me, it's nothing. But again, we all see things differently. Some people are still not happy, mentioning if it was if Mourinho, Antonio Conte, and all that. But this time, we're just judging from a single perspective. We don't know what was said. I don't care. If you like, he can hug and kiss Timber. I don't freaking care. I just want him to start winning games. I will start losing my own shit if, in fact, there's enough evidence that we're struggling because of him. Yeah, but that's why we move on. And here's the thing: as much as I think Ateta is kind of making fun of us when he said that we're actually one of the best attacking teams in the league. We were until of late, until about 5, 10, maybe 12 matches ago. We were actually at one point one of the best attacking teams in the league. And even after a drop in the number of chances we create and how we attack and everything, which is you have a deeper understanding of football to understand why the manager is playing the way he's playing right now. But that's a discussion, a debate maybe for another day. Until of late, until recent games, we were actually one of the best attacking teams in the league. But that's, by the way, if he's lost you, sorry about that. For me, I don't care if he can kiss. You can kiss Timber and take him home for all I care. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. Timber, I tell him Mariska to try harder, not even say harder. I don't care, really. Yeah, I really don't care. We need to take risks, in my opinion. Why pass the ball sideways? Man, Maresca is hurting the players' game. He's telling players don't shoot. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Give me a second. I need to cut this out. I'm struggling with cold. Okay, I think I'm much I'm much better right now. I did see a clip of video showing who was that. I think he was either Moses Casado. He was between two players when the ball was passed to him, and when he got the ball, he somehow turned around and passed it back. I will swear by my life that he wasn't the one that asked him to turn around. He was just a player not confident enough to progress the ball while he was sandwiched by two opposition players. So, but you have every right to do whatever you want to do. I don't know. I haven't heard Fafana say that himself. But here's the thing: the approach I don't have issue with, and I can debate your favorite content creator on why the manager has changed his approach. Remember, we didn't start the season this way. At the start of the season, it was, you could say, scattergun approach. We score, we don't play with balance. The opposition score against us, we outscore them. But I'm not going to get into that debate right now, except if your favorite content creator feels like they can debate me on that, bring him, and then we'll do that. But that's why we keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. 11 people watching, 4 of those on YouTube, the rest on the X. Please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream. Let's get it on. Okay, let me move to the items we have lined up. The plan is to start discussing. The plan is to go news hunting. Once we exhaust what we have out there, then we will discuss the racial abuse of Wesley Fofana, aka Wes, a very fine player. But that's, by the way, and my response to his comment is that unfortunately, racism these days has become free speech, irrespective of what you say. It doesn't mean if you racially abuse an individual of certain race. To some, yeah, it's become normal. It's become part of free speech. Unfortunately, and X is a place where, yeah, it's become has become a breeding ground for people. A breeding ground for people who behave as such. If that makes sense. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Up to you. You can wait or lose patience. But something I want to tell you is this: we cannot say that we haven't seen the intent. Um, from the new owners. And we cannot see. We cannot come out and say they're spending for the sake of it and don't want to win. It just doesn't make sense. They understand football is a result-driven business. To make profit, you have to win. But unfortunately, you see people blindly arguing that they're here just to make profit. They don't want to win. Then how are they going to make profit? But I don't want to stick with that. I want to move on, and we have Bible study all the time. Siaka, South Africa. My bro, nice to see you. It's been a minute. Um, nice. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have, if we lose to Tottenham, uh, that's a sackable offense. Maresca needs to pick up wins. I think we'll beat them clearly. And if you remember, before the game against Arsenal, my response was, do I think we can beat them? I think we can. But will we beat them? That's the question that would be better answered by the players and the manager. And also, more importantly, I reminded people that football, you just cannot script football. And in football, 1+1 doesn't always equal to two, if that makes sense. But that's, by the way, I believe we will beat them. We'll have uh, Lavia up and running. Hopefully, he doesn't travel to join the Belgium national team for a country assignment. Nicholas Jackson, I believe, will be back. Love or hate, Nani Madueke be back, and I think, yeah, we cannot do at this moment. It just seems as if we cannot do better than Nani Madueke, unfortunately. But that's why we keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We have a total of 16 people watching. 5 of those on YouTube. Rest 11 of the rest are shared between X and Facebook. And if you're following the show on Facebook, take a second, drop a like on the video, and follow our Facebook account. If you're following the show on X, do the same thing. Um, he says, I don't know why Chelsea FC lost against Arsenal. That's football for you. But here's the thing, we'll talk about that in a bit. We're news hunting right now. We need to recall Riz back. He will get injured. I don't know, especially if he plays on as a wing back. But despite that, let's go news hunting. And please keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I will assume that you're having a good conversation with a community member, and I will skip your comment. Apologies for that. This is Moses Casado arriving for Ecuador assignments. All I wish for, all I pray for is for these guys to come back healthy and not get injured. Moises Casado, one of them. I like his simplified dressing here. I really do like it. Just do it. Nike, the shirt, and the joggers there is also nice. All right, what is we have here? And Nicholas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku are the worst two culprits for underperforming XGs at Chelsea. Yeah, Nicholas Jackson is minus 2.38. The same last season, the same the season before. A lot of chances created for him, missed quite a lot. Christopher Nkunku 1.68. Wow, Cole Palmer minus 1.25. A lot of Chelsea players there. João Felix minus 1.23. Noni Madueke, yep, Nhelka Shim, Mark Gui, Jadon Sancho overperforming, yep, overperforming his XG, and Pedro Neto overperforming his XG. So we need these players need to improve in terms of taking the chances created for them. We've always known that yeah, we've always known that yeah, that's in fact the case, especially for Nicholas Jackson. A lot of misses there, but that's not to take away that in his absence, we've learned that he's actually one of our best players. We don't have again in terms of the striking role, we don't have an alternative that can measure what he brings to the table in terms of his behavior off the ball, on the ball, how he drives with the ball, and his ability to create for his teammates, actually. But despite the way we move on from that, I hope he recovers. Keep the topics aligned. Keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I will assume you're having a good conversation with your teammates. And Nkuruma Nguda sounds like a Ghanaian brother there. Has a comment that reads, I hope Tuko uses Rhys James as an overlapper this international break so that he gives Maresca confidence. Maresca knows he can do that. Have you ever wondered why Rhys James he stayed fit longer than he's stayed in the past? That's because we haven't utilized him in a manner where he needs to overlap, underlap, or maybe support our attack, and then track back to also be part of the defensive efforts. Yeah, you could argue his stayed fit because the manager has used him sparingly, and whenever he's used him of late, he's used him in the midfield area where he doesn't have to run as much, and we have Moses Casado to do the heavy lifting for him, and still he's done well in that area. Forget the fact that we lost against Arsenal, if that makes sense. So I'm just saying, take a step back, think about it, and figure out why is it that he stayed fit. In my opinion, I mean, if the manager wants to play him right back, right wing back, so that he can, yeah, you could say he's known. I mean, he's arguably one of the best of fullbacks and right back in world football. I wouldn't mind that, but I'm concerned that if he does that, he'd get injured. Don't get you started on Nkunku. I don't want to talk about him. We get to that in a bit. Well, we'll go back to news hunting. And once again, if you don't keep the topics aligned, I will assume that you're having a good conversation with a community member. And yeah, you have every right to do that. Enjoy, in all honesty. So what else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 4 likes. I think we can do a lot better than that. And if you're in the comment section and you haven't dropped a like on the video, shame on you, honestly. What else do we have here? I'm like this. But here's the thing: it takes one that understands the vision of the current Chelsea owners, and also the players we have joining us, like Esther William, Coenda, and what's this machine? And that's the closest I've seen a player like N'Golo Kante. What's his name? Not Esugo. Yeah, Esugo. Yeah. I think I will be like we have an entirely new squad next season, but it's not going to be a drastic change. The integration of the new players will be a gradual process to not make it a problem. It takes one that understands the vision of the new owners to say, I cannot wait for next season to ask you, can you see us now? Because it will be a different animal next season. And part of that to be possible, for you to if for you to say that with your chest, for let me use a more relatable language, Maresca has to stay, because if you change the manager, he comes with a new vision, new idea, maybe if that's the language you prefer, and which would also take a while to implement. And the aim is to achieve stability and win consistently, and not just win in patches. Win, get a new manager, he wins one season, then loses next season. Maybe that will work. I don't know, but I don't want us to be that way. I want us to start dominating and dominate for a while. And that's a small opinion anyway. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Do I need to go back one more time? Apologies. It looks like I overclicked this. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you. Nemaya, keep the question. I will highlight the question. Then later on, I will try to answer it. Right now, we are news hunting, and if you've seen anything that I haven't talked about that you feel like we should talk about, and it's news worthy, talk about it, and we'll discuss it. What else do we have here? Enzo Maresca will have a fantastic motivation to win the Club World Cup. That's what you need to see it as a source of motivation. As I've told you before, when you are at Chelsea, your goal is to win as much as you can, and when we are there, that will be one of our goals. I think we have a lot more players at the time. What's his name? Jean Felix will be part of the squad. I hope we win that one too. I hope we win the Conference League. finish in the top four, which is very possible. But right now, we have to win games. We have to win nearly all the games we have left. Let's see what happens. Isugo signs at Chelsea until 2032, a 7-year contract plus option until June 2033, and ready for the Club World Cup. So he's going to be there with us. I like this player. He's aggressive, and he's the sort of player that Bobby has been clamoring that the club should start signing to have more physical players, that we've been bullied quite a lot by our opposition teams. But yeah, I want Asugo. I'm happy we signed him. I think he'd make a difference if he's actually more physical than Moises Caicedo. I'm not comparing. I'm not going to go into comparing them two. I think they differ. You could argue Caicedo is have a better passing range, in my opinion, or vision maybe. But Asugo, ball winning, even off the bat, I'd argue is actually something you could say he does better than Moises Caicedo. Actually, we've actually looked at it. It was Vince that shared a spider stats, if you like, you can call it that, comparing the output of him. I think Enzo Fernandez, Asugo, Amogu, all of them, and he trumps them in the metric of ball winning. He's a good player. Troy Deeney, I don't want to read anybody's opinion right now. Let's see, when Rooney and Chelsea, they have signed a lot of players, and it's still a really young team. There has been some good signs from Chelsea this season, and the lack of experience as a group is probably catching up with them. I do think over the next couple of years, yeah, no need to even, it's time. Yes, then let me just say this again. The road, or you could say, you could argue the path taken needs patience. It's as simple as that. And the path taken, to make it clearer to you, or maybe explain it with a more relatable language, is yeah, signing young players, give them time to mature as a unit, and they will be reaping trees, for lack of a more specific way to say it. And they are capable of winning things now, but it's not guaranteed that they can win now. But in the future, definitely, if we can keep them together. If we need to start winning, if we need to have a squad that's guaranteed to at least win something now, we need to sign more experienced players and mix things up a bit. So the path taken needs patience. And do I think Chelsea fans will be patient enough? I don't know. I think there will be mourning, whining, crying until things starts to yield a good result. Just like at the start of the season, a lot of Chelsea fans were screaming that we were actually in the title race. Some of them deep down believed that we were in the title race, and only a few recognized that given where we are in terms of from the perspective of the project, we're not there. Mathematically, at the time, we were in the title race. And I knew that that point will come where we'd start losing games and not performing well, and a lot of people will lose their SHIT. And it's happening now. Even some that were apologizing at the time, where some started apologizing, some that never believed that anything good will come from the project. But if you read Wayne Rooney's opinion, you see that, yeah, we've seen the signs, and he recognizes it would take time. And he did say something that suggests that's reflective of the fact that if we need to start winning immediately, if we need a squad that is guaranteed to start winning things now, we need to mix it up with experience. Without experience, there's no guarantee we'd win anything now. We'd start winning, but maybe in the future, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Palmer ran away. He can, it's not pressure. He even again was he even agreed to play even though he was ill. Yeah, the other time before now, we decided you have to take a break. I think he needs that break to rest up properly and be fresh after the international break. Reece James is good at scoring and playing as a right back. He just needs to get into form. I don't think it's a form thing. I I'm not a doctor by any stretch of imagination, but the fact remains, I'm still gonna argue that the reason he's still fit, he's recovered, He stayed fit and has stayed fit longer than we know. We can remember in recent in the two, three, four, two, 3 seasons. Let me not just leave it at that to avoid gaslighting you. It's because the manager the manager has found a way to manage his fitness, aka use them sparingly. Maybe aka not use them in an area of the pitch where he has to run a lot, if that makes sense. I don't want Thomas Tuchel to risk that, but unfortunately, that's exactly what's going to happen. And I will I blame Thomas Tuchel? No. Just like Dante said the other day, I blame Rhys James. He's the one that will again. It's his responsibility to tell Thomas Tuchel, look, my body isn't like that anymore. I'd rather you use me in the midfield, or maybe use me as a traditional right back where I don't have to run up, down, and just defend for you. I can create chances from deep area of the pitch and all that. So it's his responsibility to say whether he's ready or not. Okay. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along where we have 19 people watching, following the show. Only one on YouTube. Rest are shared between Facebook and X, I'm guessing. And by the way, thank you for 8,000 plus followers on 8,000 plus followers on Instagram. We sincerely do appreciate that. In case if you haven't followed us on Instagram, please do so. 22,000 plus followers on TikTok. If you're not following us on TikTok, please do so. We'd really appreciate that. And if you're not following us on X, follow us. We're getting closer to 5,000 followers on X. We'd really appreciate that. Big up, AB. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. Enzo is gone in the summer. Madrid will take him. I don't think he'd leave. He only leaves if Chelsea wants to sell him. And to force Chelsea to sell him, you'd have to pay a special fee for him because we know he's an excellent player. Unfortunately, a lot of Chelsea fans didn't realize what a good player he is. Yeah, until of late, he's actually practically he's been one of our best players since the start of the 24-25 season. Yeah. Do I think Chelsea sells him? No. Everything we've seen out there at this point are all rumors, in my opinion. To some, it will make sense because they believe he is like for like compared to Andreas Santos, who definitely will come back in the summer. Will become a part of the squad for next season. So I don't know, but we'll see. All right, pardon me. While I take a sip of my coffee, it's something with some medicine in that to help with the cold. Mm, but it does taste good. Um, all right, AP is saying that can we even finish 65 points this season, Coach? I mean, last season was 65. Does that mean no improvement? Here's the thing. I think we'll finish. We'll garner more than some. We'll garner up to 70 points this season. Honestly, after the manager now, he has a bit of time to look at where he needs to do better. But more importantly, a lot of our best players will be back, and Nicholas Jackson will be back. Cole Palmer will be fully fit. And I'm definitely sure that Wesley Fofana will not be traveling for international assignments for the French national team. Noni Madueke, hate or love him, his absence has proven that he's actually one of our best players. I'm glad I've never said he's a bad player. I've always talked about areas that I believe he needs to improve to become a much better player, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Not morning, evening, 5 p.m. CST. Up big Ty, big up, big up, big up, big up, Ty. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular evening. If Madrid drop 100 million, they can have Enzo Maresca, Enzo Fernandez. Do I think they'd pay us that much money? No. Madrid probably very cautious of doing business with Chelsea these days. Yeah, I don't think they'll pay that much money. And anything less than that, I don't see Chelsea selling. Even 100 million, I don't see Chelsea selling. They like him. They value him. It's yes, then we've been hearing Chelsea Proper Charles. He's one of those that's actually performed, played, showed the sort of commitment that you associate with players that are truly proper Charles. If that makes sense. But despite, well, let's see what else we have here. Big up. Heights, my brother. God bless you. Big up streams from Jamaica. Let's see what else we have here. Newcastle has an easy run, and we have a tough run. Let's see how that finishes. Newcastle, I don't think they will make top four. They've won. They won. What's the cup? The competition. They beat Newcastle, Liverpool. I think that's it, really. Arsenal are not going to get close to the title. It's clear, common sense. I'd be shocked if Liverpool start underperforming to a measure where Arsenal catches up to them and wins the league. It's never going to happen. Will Arsenal beat Real Madrid in the Champions League? Nope. They're gonna knock them out. I'd be shocked if the opposite happens. Did you just say 70 points? Yeah, I think we can. Not 70. I think we should get. We will get a more than six. The what we got last season. Have you seen? It doesn't matter. We'll be better situated by the time the league returns. Cole Palmer will be fully fit. Nicholas Jackson will be back. Noni Madueke had to love him. He'll be back. I think we'll be better off. And there's space for the manager to work on not lose a single game until the end of the season. I'm going to start asking questions of him if he falters badly. I don't care about the runs. We've seen his thing. Here's why I haven't joined the Enzo Maresca gang out. Because yeah, the you can say I wouldn't call it because at some point the length of the poor performances suggests that it wasn't a blip. Something was definitely wrong. Absence of players. Nicholas Jackson, his absence. Noni Madueke, his absence, and then the poor form of what's his name? Poor form of Cole Palmer. There are other issues. The list goes on. No excuses. So those factors are the reason. Those are the reasons why I haven't jumped onto the Enzo Maresca out wagon. There's no grounds for that for me to start preaching Enzo Maresca out. There are other issues, and I've always told people that he is the least of our problem. Yeah, when we were winning games, when some thought that we were actually in a title race, and you could say pretentiously screaming, "We're not in the title race." Deep down, they believed we were in the title race, which was why when things started going down south, they started losing their shit. If that makes sense. So let's see. We can actually. 20. How many points left? 27 points more. Okay, yeah, we can get up to 70. Yeah, let's see how it finishes. But I think let's see. I'm not concerned. I'm gonna be focused on paying attention to whether he's able to learn from his mistakes. And in all honesty, I have to tell you, he's not been perfect. So let's see. That's me, or that's I'll take those games to judge his tactical acumen. The current young players we have now will get better in the future, definitely. Yeah, and be experienced and be senior players and perfectly blended together with the up and coming young ones. Yep. And I think signing one thing would never the current owners will never stop signing young players. But I think they will mix things up. There are signs they are willing to mix things up. I think the next striker will sign probably not going to be that young. City will get top four and Newcastle will get top five. Okay, I remember you said that. Let's see. But I know we'll finish. We'll get a Champions League place. Let me just leave it at that. What else do we have here? It's amazing that we're still inside top six. It always feels like we would be at around 10th position. A lot of people actually thought that would be the case. Majesty, nice to see you out. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular evening. A lot of people thought we'd actually be fighting relegation this season. Yeah, but it's not happening. We started the season well, and we just need to finish the season well. If we finish well, I think we'll get a chance. We'll be part of the next edition of the Champions League. We could still win the Conference League and still win the Club World Cup. Do I think we're capable of winning those competitions? Yeah, I'll be. Listen, for the rest of the season, I'll be judging the manager's tactical strength. Yeah, I will do that. I haven't. You would. I don't think it's perfect, but I don't think there are grounds for people to start screaming Enzo Maresca out. He actually started the best way possible. Our start of the season was a shock to a lot of people. We did so well at the start of the season that even pundits that were focused on talking about how much and discussing how much we've spent and yet performing poorly and yet performed poorly last season. It was the other thing. Every time we concede a goal, the next thing that comes out of the mouth of the commentator or TV host will be how much we spent. But when we were winning games front and back, up down, they started changing tone. Their tone. Even Jamie Carragher and others started talking about how wow, we thought they were making the mistakes. They were making mistakes. Now look at that. They're clicking. So, but here's the thing, and I'm going to say this once again. I knew at the time that hopefully, I think signs are that we are actually gradually navigating away from what I agree wasn't a blip. It was a bigger. Again, a big issue. I think we're navigating away from that. We're finding a solution to our problems. And hate it or love it, part of that solution is not go into games with a scattergun approach. And let me tell you this: Arsenal, they are more of a unit than we are. Whether you believe, I'm not trying to make an excuse here, irrespective of what you think, they are more of a unit than we Chelsea are. Yeah, you can read that how you want. And had we gone into that game with the approach, the way we started the season, chances are we could have lost that game by around 6 goals to 1 or 6 goals to 3. I'm just going to leave it at that. But that's just my opinion anyway. This is because the war between Iqbali and Todd Maresca complacent should be under pressure. I'm not sure I understand that, but if you can elaborate. So let's go back to news hunting. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding time to join the show this particular evening. I always say morning because I'm used to the Blue Morning Show, and that's the same line, except the time of the show is usually what's different. Yeah, our first question in Marissa's mentality now. The same man that came in last summer and sat at the dressing room and took stones from the media for it. Here's the thing. I don't have any. I still support Maresca. I'm gonna leave it at that. I haven't seen anything to turn against him. I think some people are just just still not able to look beyond the fact that his last club was was Leicester City. He last job was as Leicester City manager, and in the Championship. Some people, because of that, whatever he does, don't give him credit and don't see things. Don't see anything positive about him except negative things. I think one of them on X called Dean. Dean, when Maresca was winning, when we were winning games left, right, up, and down, he was singing him praises, saying how surprised he was. But boom, the moment we hit that rough period, he changed like this. And then revisionism starts, comparing him to comparing him to Porch. I think that is just not okay. And if you cannot be objective, you'll find yourself apologizing every time situation change or regarding the particular subject matter or whatever, or you lose people. But if you're objective, you'd always find a way, knowing that things can change. Then you speak objectively and not have to apologize to anybody. But that's by the way we move on. Anything else here important? News hunting. Keep dropping the likes on the chim. The likes do go a long way. And if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section, and I'll try to address it. If I cannot, I'll pretend I don't see it. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'll try the best I can to answer your question, and if I cannot, I will let you know. And again, I have to keep sipping on my coffee. I like it. It's good. Mm, I just spilled it on myself. All right. What else do we have? All right, this is Moses Caicedo. The injured players are very important for us. They helped us a lot with scoring goals. Now they're out, but we have more players. We have Nato playing as a striker. We have Enzo, and everyone is working hard with the team. They're trying their best. And here's something else I want. We'll talk about that when we get to that game. Anything else here? Anything else here? Anything else? Anything else? All right, let's see what else we have here. All right, I don't want to read opinions. Oh, Ty is killing me. Just go out, man. Just go away. All right, more likes, people. More likes. We have 25 people following the show, 6 on YouTube, the rest on X. I appreciate you all finding the time to be part of the conversation. What else do we have here? Trigger the command and Wolfang Division. Everyone waking up that Enzo Maresca not good enough. He's a championship manager. Okay, you are entitled to your opinion, bro. But yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people are not looking beyond the fact that he was a championship manager last season. Unfortunately, yes, people go check out Ty's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. I'd really appreciate that. More likes, more likes. 23 people following the show, but only 4 on YouTube, the rest on X. And chances are you keep it correct. Maybe we'll all end up finding out that he's a championship manager. Or maybe we'll all end up learning not to judge people by what they had done previously, but judge them by what they do when given opportunity. He's saying, I supported Chelsea for 27 years. I know more than most. I mean, okay. If you feel that way, fine, you're entitled to your opinion. But here's the thing. My point is this: chances are would find out the hard way that you're correct, that we should never have hired him. But you can right now say definitely that's the case. It was a mistake hiring him. No, because there are factors, in my opinion, that led to us struggling. Yeah, the you can say the patch, you can say the period of time we struggled. There are legit reasons why that happened. But I get your opinion, and again, here your opinion matters, honestly. But let's see what else we have here. Anything else here, Coach? Question. Let me see the question he has here. Do you think the owners are working behind the scenes for a striker? I'd say yes. I'd say I think there are pattern to how there's a you could say a definite pattern to the way they operate. From last season, we're starting to hear less and less of players were seriously interested in signing until boom, we are on the verge of getting the deal over the line. That's the only time we'll hear about them. So yeah, they are working for a striker behind the scene. I think even if they never wanted to sign one, I mean, it makes sense to believe that the absence of Nicholas Jackson has made them to realize that they should have signed another striker long before Nicholas Jackson got injured. And had they done that, I don't think it would struggle as much as we've struggled of late to score goals. If that makes sense. And Wolfgang Division, look at his tactics. None. Okay, but welcome. More importantly, big up to the channel and chat. Big up to you too. And if it's your first time here, please take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also feel at home. Express yourself. All we have ask of you is to keep it civil. Cat Felix. Okay, I've heard one of our legendary panelists here. You can say OGs here in Bobby argue about that, but Wolf fan, I'm sure you've heard Felix himself say publicly that he pushed to leave Chelsea Football Club. And he also did say something to the effect of not wanting to come back to Chelsea again. So, and what managers do, even you could say it's something that is very, very common with top level managers, but in most cases, even non top level managers, if they sense that you're not committed to the project, or you're not committed to being part of the squad because you're not playing or something, they will let you go. And I'm for letting the player that pushes to leave. How many words is that? Again, pushes to leave. The 3 word sentence there. The mid. A player that pushes to leave, let them go. You'd be better off without them because they will create issues in the dressing room. Jackson's absence shows how important he is for us. Yep, his work rate is incredible. Yep, off the ball. The only thing we talked about most of the times at the time was for Jackson to improve his finishing, which will take time. And again, one of the things we also talked about was for him to start shooting instinctively, which he never before then. I think that aspect is improved. He started shooting instinctively. These days, he doesn't have to be perfectly positioned to start to try to shoot or something like that. He's improving, but we knew at the time we needed to sign another player capable of fulfilling the striker role. The question now is what profile of striker should we be looking at the time we had that conversation. But you get the point. Okay, and Wolf is saying not his first time here. Yes, okay. Thank you, my brother. Nice to see you. I appreciate you. Let's see what else we have here. We have okay. I hate the championship manager argument because at the end of the day, many top coaches started at certain point. Yep, Ancelotti started in Serie B, for instance. Pep was Barcelona B team manager. What you call La Masia? Is that what you call them? When I see Gyökeres link to Man United strongly, wouldn't surprise me if we sign Gyökeres out of nowhere. We can. We're already shopping at Sporting, so chances are we're having a conversation behind the scenes to sign Victor Gyökeres. So I'm going to try to catch up, finish with the news, and we'll talk about the racial abuse of Wesley Fofana, aka West, and then we'll talk about the game against Arsenal. Wolf is saying in the show, he pushed to leave, bag a hat trick, and he holds bench. Here's where I agree with you, Wolf. Here's where I agree with you, and I've talked about that already. We had Dante and the legendary OG and Bobby Dante, the captain of the community, where I said, "Look, Tom, what's his name, Enzo Maresca. That one of the things that I don't like, that he again, I hate that he didn't do was create a healthy competition between João Felix and Cole Palmer. Because João Felix can play the 10 role effectively. He can also play on the flanks as a winger. But I think we had an opportunity, we had a good opportunity to create a healthy competition between him and Cole Palmer. And I did argue that had he done that, that probably Cole Palmer would be fully fit now, and probably wouldn't have been you because chances are Cole Palmer is just mentally tired. That may well be the case. So, but had he created a healthy competition between the two players, rotate them effectively, manage their game time effectively, I don't think Copan would complain. I don't think Joao Felix would complain or would have pushed to leave, if that makes sense. I believe, yeah. I think I agree with you on that one. Let's see what else we have here. We have Manchester saying if he's again Enzo Maresca, if he's championship manager, he will be managing the championship team. So right now, let's go label him accordingly. He's a Premier League manager. I like that one. Really, I do like that argument. Oh my goodness, that's a nice one. I like that argument. Yeah, if he's a championship manager, he should be managing in the championship. So let's label him accordingly. He's a Chelsea manager, irrespective of whether you agree or not. All right, we're gonna get through with with the news hunt and get to talking about the racial abuse of Wesley Fofana, and then the Arsenal game. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, that's a good one. Carlo was a special player too. Carlo was a good player. Maresca himself was a good player too. And Vic is in the house. Nice to see you, Vic. I do hope you're doing well. We have 24 people following the show, 5 on YouTube, the rest on X. If you haven't, please do take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Was it Jose Mourinho? No, he never played the game at all. No, he did not. Uh, no, I read that correctly. It was a special person, not a player. I think what job was what vacation was he in before even actually becoming a manager? I can't quite remember. Um, Anything else? Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Dean Bernardo Silva pushed to leave City because his role was becoming less, and Pep spoke to him and told him to be patient. Felix isn't the greatest finisher, true, but he offers so much. Yeah, I agree. But Heston, he pushed to leave, and I'm quite sure I would try to convince him. He said no because even Maresca did say during one of his presses that we want to keep him, but I still go back to blaming him for not having him compete with Cole Palmer, and I still blaming him for probably Cole Palmer as a kid probably at some point will feel like he's indispensable. I think we would have been better off creating a sense of competition. Sense of competition. It might not be a realistic competition if that makes sense. To make him want to work even more if that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, a PE teacher. Yeah. I don't think so. I think they will make changes. I know chances are they'd lose Virgil van Dijk, they'd lose Salah, definitely, because at this point he's feeling disrespected. He would want to leave and probably will be regretting not to have joined Saudi Arabian club when they came for him. I think it was Klopp that blocked his move. Yeah. And Vic Maresca is one dimensional, but that's not my concern. My concern is Maresca's inability to create another Jackson Palmer, a type of combo from his load of players. And if you don't have one, buy. I think he would. Listen, he's not perfect. And one dimensional, I disagree. But where you and I agree is his inability to create healthy competition between the players. And I'm gonna go back to talking about Cole Palmer, probably at some point as a kid, even if he doesn't want to, subconsciously will be feeling indispensable. Nani Madrid at some point when we thought that's it. That what's his name, Pedro need to start. This next game, Nani isn't gonna start. Uh, it didn't happen. Christopher Nkunku at one point when Nicholas Jackson clearly was struggling, we thought, okay, that's it. And Nkunku starts the next game, and he didn't start. And at some point, the players we started seeing from their body language again. From there, you could say displays on the pitch that they weren't happy. We knew that Nkunku probably come once the transfer window comes around. At the time, he'd be pushing to leave. Joao Felix, the same thing. And in this case, there's a pattern to his behavior whenever he joins the club. What Ty calls the main guy syndrome is one of Felix's biggest issues since he left Atletico Madrid. And I don't think one can argue otherwise, actually, because that's a pattern to his behavior. If that makes sense. Felix isn't hungry like Neto. That's a problem. I wouldn't say I respectfully disagree that he isn't hungry. If anything, you could tie his eagerness to play or the fact that he pushed to leave to him being hungry. I'm not sure. That's why I disagree with this your argument. I'm gonna read the next comment from Vic. Bobby, if you want to come in anytime before we read the racial abuse of Wesley Fofana, you can. Will you disagree on Maresca being one-dimensional? Um, he, will you disagree on Maresca being one-dimensional? Vic, I don't like you, and I'm serious about that. don't, don't do that here. What? He needs a Jackson type of play in attack. Otherwise, he cannot play. Yes, then maybe I need to look at it again. I'm not just going to dismiss your comment because that's you can say it's it makes sense, and this is the sort of debate I want, but I need to look at it again. At this point I can say maybe you're just going by the fact that the you can say he hardly ever forfeits the basics of his approach, which is having one player um invert to help overload areas and create a numerical advantage for Chelsea. I agree, but I think this gets me thinking, given the fact that he needs such and such a profile of players for his team to function properly. But I wouldn't take that as him being one dimensional. Every manager has certain profile of players that they definitely would want to have. What would get me, again, I believe that he's one dimensional if maybe I have to, because if I say, okay, maybe he's one dimensional because given the absence of those players, we struggled, maybe I'll agree to a certain extent, but still I need to see it because there may be other reasons why we struggle to create chances or even you could say trouble opposition defense. But we'll get to that in a bit. But I appreciate that's the sort of comment I like. Even though I don't like you, that's sort of that's why I like you in the conversation, Vic. Yeah. Uh, we don't want any players to be malnourished. I agree. If Chelsea is smart, they should sign Diaz, Van Dijk. I don't think we're going to look at those players. Without the Boston attacking number 9, Maresca's tactics doesn't work. That's a fact. I have to look at that even more. Even though I agree, I've actually made an expose stating that yeah, he needs a certain sort of type of profile of players for his system to work well, and in their absence, he seemed to have struggled. But I'd say, bless his soul, as Roger would say, we don't have enough sample size. So maybe I need to see more. But you now you've got me thinking, and I'm going to look at it, Vic. Now don't feel like you're a big boy now. Rich Money Makers! Nice to see you, Rich Money Makers. Big up all the legends. We have been embarrassed in the news about Robert Sanchez playing for Chelsea. Let's see about Robert Sanchez playing for Chelsea. I am starting to lose my patience with our coach. And everyone hit the likes and subscribe. And in all honesty, one of the reasons why I may stop supporting Maresca will be him you could say his obsession with Robert Sanchez. Hungry, you don't know. You think Ty don't understand, but that's why Ty. Anything you want to say before we move on to the next thing we have? Sorry, Bobby was here before you. Sorry, apologies, Ty. Bobby, big up and thank you for finding the time to join us. The next item we have lined up is
Yeah, big up, Rich.
Wesley Fofana being abused. Some are saying definitely Arsenal fans. Some are saying Chelsea fans. Some are saying it's a mix of you can say I don't know. Some you can say independent actors. You get what I mean by that. But Bobby, wherever you want to come in, we can. If you want to come in by discussing anything else before we talk about that incident, you go ahead. Big up and thank you for joining.
Yeah, I guess big up, coach. I guess before one talks about anything, let's talk about the game.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Um,
We round off with the game. We will talk at the game about the game as long as we want. We're just knocking out the news items.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. Well, I really wanted to focus on Maresca.
Hmm.
It's when you have injuries and a depleted squad that you sort of get a little idea as to what the manager's about.
Hmm.
Um, I thought yesterday Arsenal really took their foot off the gas. They saw that we had absolutely nothing to offer them, nothing. And they saw that if they just play it safe, they would get away with the win. The goal came from um, Arteta doing what Maresca could not do, and that was just send the big man forward from the midfield to a set piece and he headed it in. Um, Chelsea's lack of physicality is now shameful. No longer even funny. It's shameful. He has no idea how to really play Premier League football because when you're depleted like that, that's when you simply roll up your sleeves and fight. But he hasn't got the fighters. He has weaklings in his team. It's a team of weaklings. I am sick and tired of seeing Chelsea in every single game. The players that are rolling around on the floor are Chelsea players. The players that get injured are Chelsea players. The other team just looks at us and shrug their shoulders. Who's on the floor now? Gusto. Who's on the floor now? So and so. Who's on the floor now? It's there is a problem, a conditioning problem that I think we have to admit. And the profile of players that Maresca selects are faulty for games. There isn't a balance. There isn't a matchup. There's nothing. You're putting Caicedo and Enzo in midfield. Reece James looked lost in midfield, I have to say. He really looked lost yesterday. He did a few minor things, but he really wasn't in his place. Um, I think it's shocking. I think his personnel management is shocking. You mentioned the fact that he doesn't set up healthy competitions. That's why he got rid of players um, in the January transfer window that he shouldn't have, vis-a-vis Casaday, um, Vega, and Felix. You pick your squad at the beginning of the season, and that should be your squad till the end of the season. The only thing that will make you add or take away players is if you find that you particularly, and that's not very often, have a bit of a surplus. Maybe you've got a youngster come through the ranks who can take over from an aging player, and there's a market for that player. Then you can sell, or you strengthen. You don't do what Chelsea did in January. Not for a top-rate club.
It was a huge mistake not to bring in players after letting those two players leave.
Well,
I did say to
I
be
think
in a more important area, attacking area in Joao Felix. But
Coach,
go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
think it wasn't a matter of bringing in players because sometimes bringing in players is problematic in itself because you've got to give them settling in time.
Hmm.
They shouldn't have got rid of those players full stop. It's man management. He didn't manage them well. And I think if it's true, which I really have my doubts is completely true, if it's true that they push, the only player I can see that really pushed to go, and I'll accept is Felix. But if they push to go, I think it's as you said, he frustrated them. There were clear chances where they could have played, and he didn't play them. I don't quite know what Maresca is at the moment. I was listening to Jan and Alex Goldberg on their podcast, and it seems very much to me that in the first half of the season, and I'm inclined to agree, that Maresca rode on the waves of what Pochettino did with the team. That was his team playing by the ways he instilled in them over the months. And now they're gone, and they're now playing Pochettino's ball. Maresca ball. Nobody really understands what value that is. His persistence on certain players is disgusting. The use of Sanchez, yes, Sanchez did make two pretty crucial saves, but the fact of the matter was that Sanchez does what Sanchez does, and if you notice, he at some point gave the ball away again.
I mean,
At
it's
the,
a tradition for him.
yeah, yeah. So he's always an accident waiting to happen. I think we're very unhappy as a group, as a fan base. We're waiting to see if this will turn around. And he's saying when the injuries come back, it will turn around. I have my deep concerns because these injuries, they won't be match fit. And in the meantime, he has no plan B in terms of how to use his personnel. Um, I still
I'd
maintain
rather say
I'm
his
concerned.
plan B hasn't worked. We
Well,
definitely have changed the way we play in the absence of Nicholas Jackson. I'm inclined to believe maybe his plan B hasn't worked. And his thing,
because you need physicality to make it work in the Premier League, and he doesn't know that. Let's put it that way. He doesn't seem to know that. It doesn't occur to him, and he's a joke. Arteta mocked him in the press conference, saying, "Oh, they're the best attacking team by far." They did nothing to him.
that is his thing. We were until until recent games. We were actually the numbers are there. We still
Yeah,
actually
no, no,
are one
that's
of the
true.
top
That is
attacking
true. That
teams.
is true.
No,
That is true.
no jokes, Bobby. But I get it the way people see it. It's because we're struggling. Our issues, again, here's the thing, the truth remains a lot of truth in what you've said and a lot of truth in what Vic is saying. And in my opinion, I listen to people because there's always something to learn. He wasn't lying. He didn't lie there. Maybe it'd be better off presented as they were one of the four. So maybe we have the best attack, and believe me, the numbers still show actually we're still one of the top three, even after we started
Honestly,
struggling to score goals.
honestly, coach, saying that sort of thing after you tamed us like a bunch of weak kids, to me was a piss take.
There you go.
You
The
know,
point. Tim does. He's trying to prove that yeah, they did a lot of work to get us not to score against them. He's trying to prove like, look what we did, look what they are, and look how we were able to get them to have only how many shots on target for the entirety of the game. So, but
excuse
here's the thing,
excuse
because
my
like
my
something you
language. I'll
mentioned,
I'll just
some
say that
yeah,
yesterday Arsenal bitch slapped us. We were bitch
here's the thing.
slapped.
No,
It's
I wouldn't,
embarrassing.
not to the extent of bitch slapping, in my opinion. But here's one
Mhm.
thing, Bobby. One thing you said, one thing is this: you said, which is the truth, and you always speak the truth, but we're having a conversation here, is this: we're all pained, irrespective of where that person is coming from, whatever they're saying, clearly out, Enzo Maresca out, whatever they're saying, it's all they're all coming from a place of love. That is one thing. And because we are not happy, everything is an issue.
Mm.
Everything is an issue. And for me, for instance, I don't see Maresca shaking hands with Julian Timber as a problem. And the closer look, if you see that video from from another perspective, Maresca says something to him first, covering his mouth. His mouth when he said what he said to Timber, which led to Timber responding the way he did. And for me, in my opinion, there was some sort of reconciliation before they shook hands. You get the point now. But
Mm.
because we're not happy, it's easy to say, yeah, if it was Mourinho, he would never have done that. If it was this person, he would never have done that. I understand. In my opinion, I listen. We're all pained. We're all concerned. We all love the club. We all want the best for the club. So let's hear what Vic has to say here. Ty, I'll come back to you as quickly as possible to get your opinion. Vic saying Bobby with the dagger, he's happy. But I'm not fighting Bobby. If you think that Bobby and I are fighting, we're not. So you haven't won, Vic. Maresca has been poor. Poch may have played a terrible football, but the intensity was there. If there was, again, if we were not looking at Maresca, then we're being dishonest. Here's the thing: I've always said he's not perfect, but I still think there are, you could say, no grounds to start screaming Maresca out. Right now, if you just decide to let him go, given if could you check how well we've done this season, irrespective of us expecting more from the truth remains, we're still better than we were last season, irrespective of how you want to see it. There are some Chelsea fans actually that swore that we'd be fighting for relegation. That's not a joke. So, irrespective of how you want to see it, and Vic, I'm intentionally using your language. We're better off than we were last season. And I'm going to say this. And I've told people, bring me your favorite content creator. Let's debate. And I'm not going to say it because I want to work on a video on that. While everything comes across as if it's pedestrian, it's on purpose. And one more thing I've already said today that I'm going to say again. And thank goodness before the Arsenal game, when somebody was pushing me to predict, I wasn't too sure, honestly. Even though I ended up predicting, I think I did say something. The team that ends up winning will only win with one team, one goal. That is going to be tight, given the total goal concession, our total goal concession, total goals scored, and how many goals were scored. They scored one more than us in 5 games. Listen, it is painful. And I think I lost the point I want to make, but let me remind us the path taken needs patience. I think I've said this before in the group. The path taken needs patience, except if we start seeing more and more experienced signings, then yeah, chances are we'd win trophies or start winning something right now. You'd look at us and say, yeah, we're definitely winning this. But the path taken needs patience. Honestly, there's no shortcut given the path of signing young players and waiting for them to mature, except if we see them start signing more and more experienced players. But Vic, yeah, I'm not fighting with Bobby. Don't go start a party. If you don't know how far we've come. Maresca rotates CBs. That's something else I don't like. Maresca rotates CBs every week like he's changing towers, and that's a huge risk. And one of the most difficult areas on the pitch to assemble is the defensive line. Even difficult than your favorite puzzle game.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, that's
Very good
one
point.
most difficult aspect. So we shouldn't be rotating CBs like that. And why? Even after Tosin has proved that he's arguably our best CB, you still drops. He still gets a drop on games that you expect him to start. He reads the game better than all the CBs we have combined. He's better aerially. Under sustained pressure from our opponents, he's the only one that still stays cool, calm, doesn't panic. But every other CB we have, from Wesley Fofana to Levi Colwell to Benoit Badiashile, all of them under sustained pressure from the opposition, they start making silly mistakes, which is why some of the games we've lost since the start of the season, we lost towards the end of the game. So, but that's by the way. Let's see what else we have here. According to my sources, the players left because our coach didn't use them. Didn't use them much, and coach has inexperienced management. But I blame the aces. I'm not gonna blame the aces for the players that left, irrespective of whether I'm in support of letting the player that pushes to leave to leave. I blame the manager for not creating a healthy competition. You could argue, we did trim down the squad to a very fine, you could say, measure. Where in the UEFA Conference League, we were doing well. In the league, we were doing well, and sometimes some of them got the opportunity to play in the league and did well. But there were times when we expect him to make a change and come out with certain players that we know have proven in Europe that they can actually start in the Premier League. He didn't do that, and that really infuriated. Did you can say that got me miffed, and I did speak my mind at the time. But that's by the way, Ty. Let's hear your thoughts, or whether you want to come in before we talk about the racial abuse of Wesley Fofana, West.
Yeah, big up. I just wanna well, I almost said piggyback off what Bobby said, but I'm not gonna use that terminology.
But you want to
Um,
do a tap in.
yeah, basically, yeah, because he made a solid point. In what he said about the the physical aspect of the game, because and especially with what Arteta said. Um, I mean, what you also said is true, because even the league leaders, we had scored more goals than them. We had more goals than them, considering the
Oh
fact
yeah,
that we were
that's two. Thank you.
so right. So we did have a good attack, but the fact is we trimmed down the squad to a level where it became unhealthy. And as you just said, the fact that we have to be utilizing certain players now in the conference league, and I get you update your squad when you get to the knockout stage. But the fact that a lot of the players that we have to be playing now are those ones that quote unquote was in the A team, which frankly I believe that there's just one team. I don't think there's A team, B team. But the fact is, when it comes on to that, the decision to let those players leave made no sense to me. And as you said, the fact is, build competition. And I've always said this for so many years now. Without competition, complacency it comes into play, and
Yep.
that's something that you cannot keep doing. And I keep saying, get competition, competition. We need competition for Kukurea. Kukurea is the only left back that we have at the club right now. Renato Vega is not a left back, and we even see that he left because he wanted to become a centre back. He wanted to be played in that position and not as a left back. He was at
For his
he
national
sta-
team too. That I think
right.
you see the driving force in the case of Renato Vega is because that area is where
It's
there's an
very
opportunity for
competitive.
him, for
Yeah,
Portugal. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the thing. The fact is, you are the coach, and this decision is up to you, literally, because you select the 11, you select those who be on the bench, those who are in the squad. So at the end of the day, that is garbage. I keep hearing people complain about the fact of we didn't sign this player, we didn't sign that player. Fine, you don't. And as Bobby said, when you get injuries, that is when a manager's capabilities is really known, because it shows that they
Yeah.
have to come up with a plan B. They have to find a solution.
Or
And quite
to be more
frankly,
specific, Ty, when you have
yeah,
injury issues and you have capable players, irrespective of whether out of position or not, available to you, show that you can make do with what you have.
right. And that's the thing. So I get it, and I will say that obviously we've had to play differently, because the fact of the profiles are different. Obviously, your approach will be different, but the whole slow build up and all of that, and retaining possession, because I remember 93% possession in the first half, I think, or something like that. Okay, that's wonderful on paper, but what are you doing with that possession? But the fact is, the squad has become depleted. We didn't, well, as Bobby says, that not bringing anybody, that's not really the problem. The problem is that
That
we let
really
those players leave.
infuriates Bobby. The downsizing of the squad.
Yeah, and it
Because
does make sense. It makes
yeah,
sense, and I understand what he's saying about if you bring in new players, or you bring in certain players, you're gonna have to give them that period to adjust, and the transitional period. But the fact is, if you don't ensure that the squad has competition, you're gonna have, and as you said, main man
complacency.
syndrome. Yeah,
Yeah.
complacency as well, main man syndrome. And Cole Palmer, although the whole confidence thing, and I even said this on one of the Chelsea Alliance show. I think it was the first one. The problem, or was it? I don't know, or it was the one that was on Friday. Whichever one it was. The fact is, when it comes on to the confidence issues and all of that, the important thing is that you take into account that Cole Palmer has had to play game after game after game after game, when you have other options to push him, get competition, and
And he
without,
actually openly said that Joao Felix isn't playing because of Cole Palmer. I didn't like that. Why
yeah,
would you do
and that's the
that?
thing, and
If
that's the
I were
thing. So
Joao Felix, I'd push to leave.
yeah,
I still
exactly,
support Enzo Maresca, but that was stupid as hell.
exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. So even though people are saying, "Oh, he put," I mean, come on, man. Is he supposed to? What are you gonna do if a manager blatantly says to you, although he didn't specifically say Felix will never play, he's saying that I cannot play Felix because we'd have to play the two of them, and some garbage like that.
Just why? Just why? Why would they say that?
Yeah, and it's I call it, I call it what you think is intrusive thoughts, where you maybe if you think it, because many managers will probably think that, okay, I have this star player, so I mean he's not going to play because Cole Palmer is there, but you don't come out and say, okay, um because Cole Palmer is doing so well, Felix is going to have a challenge. You don't say that. You say that
Just
we have
keep
a
it
lot
to
of quality
yourself.
players. Yeah, so, and that's the thing, poor man management, that comes into man management. And as much as I know, our former manager, he wasn't the greatest. That is one thing that you have to give him flowers for, because he was able to rotate the squad and do that. And the whole thing with the defense, and as you said, arguably Tosin has been our best centre back. I know people say he's slow, he's lethargic. That doesn't matter, because at the end of
He's
the day,
deceptively quick. I think, Ty, just quickly, if you don't mind. Usually, there's a way people judge tall people. As Tosin,
Yeah,
they don't believe they're quick until you get to compete against them. But here's the thing: his pace is nothing. As long as he can read the game as well as he does. Remember, remember, Thiago Silva wasn't the quickest, but because he reads the game so well, you will not even get a chance to race against him, let alone outpace him. Tosin is like that. If utilized properly, go ahead. Apologies for cutting you off.
yeah, and that's the thing. So I disagree with the whole thing with slow and lethargic, because the way that you view a centre back should not be about that. Because as you just gave an example with Silva was on the older side when they had him. But the fact is, when you, if you know the position in your body, if you know how to have a good starting position, you get back into position quickly. And Tosin has proven that he can do that. We would have dropped more points if it wasn't for Tosin. So clearly he's been one of the best, if not the best centre back that we've had. And the whole rotating of centre backs, I don't like it. And I'm sure when we predicted the lineup for the Arsenal match, we expected Tosin to start, because you don't drop somebody that has proven so vital for you in a
So you
game
can't tell me he's
against.
tired.
Yeah, no, it is impossible. It is impossible, because rotation happens even in the Conference League matches. So even that made no sense to me. But I don't know. As you said, Maresca isn't perfect. I want him to I wanted him to prove it, and I said it on Friday. I want it to be a case where we find a solution. Without it being a case of Jackson needing to be there, because at the end of the day, it should not be that. You should have a squad, and you should be able to depend on your squad. And I don't think that the squad is that bad that we cannot do something without him, because we saw Neto was trying his hardest against Arsenal. He was so good in terms of getting into the areas causing problems for the centre back. So we don't have a attack that is horrible. But the fact is, when you have one player and then everybody else looks lost, and they don't know what to do, then it's going to be all over the place. And then, as Bobby said, physicality, it just wasn't there, because Arsenal were just able to just move the ball around us like a zigzag, and all of that. So that is very key. But I'm gonna stop talking, because I think I've
You
been
know, honestly,
saying too
Ty,
much.
I just can't believe I'm saying this. You remember when we were begging, was it Porter to please simplify things? You remember that? Please just keep it simple.
Yeah,
Yeah, just simplify things and get results. Then you can again at some point when you see, just prioritize results first. It doesn't have to be pretty, because that's a risk of us not making
yeah,
it into top four at the time. I can't believe I'm saying this for him. Maybe he needs to simplify things even more to get results. I don't know. He got comfortable feeling like you could say we've gotten to a point where, okay, it must be strictly his way. I still support him, honestly, but every time, just as you see how pissed I become, unhappy I become when Ty started talking about uh, him saying publicly, yeah, the John Felix isn't playing because there's Cole Palmer.
mm,
No, that was when I realized he may be have the potential to become one of the best managers in the world football, but no, he's not a good man manager. And yeah, Bobby, he's led us into where we're charged right now. But damn, oh my goodness, I like him, but no, I don't like that fact. I have to be honest with you. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. How many likes do we have? We have 11 likes. We have a total of 26 people watching. Only 6 of those on YouTube. The rest is shared between X and Facebook. I appreciate you all. Victor Adedoing here saying, big up, bro. If Maresca goes on, who is out there? If Maresca goes, yep, if he gets fired. Who else is out? Who is out there to make the club great again? Lastly, I am tired of his inverted defensive tactics, which has rendered Rhys James and Gusto useless. That's another way. That's another way to see it. Um, you can argue we're better at deploying them as traditional fullbacks. Gusto would do well as traditional fullback, but here's the thing: do I think he's been productive, effective from the manager's perspective? In time, let's stick with Gusto. Forget about Reece James. Still need to see more. I'd say yes, because his primary responsibility is to pop up in areas, completing triangles, overloading areas, ensuring that we have numerical advantage over the opponent. And he's done that. He's done the basics quite well. What he hasn't done till now, whenever he gets in those positions, is create good chances. Shoot his shots so far has been, you can say, something the rugby union will be proud of. It's a Kukurea. He's mastered the art of inverting, become part of the midfield and scoring goals, creating chances too. Gusto not quite there, so I wouldn't say useless. To the manager, he's been useful, which is you could argue why he's deployed them in that position over and over again. But nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. We did nothing well, coach. Okay. Let's see. Why play reasons in the midfield? Ask yourself why he's stayed fit longer than usual. For the past 3 seasons, it has always been a case of him coming back, playing just 5 minutes, gets injured, and then stay out for the next 10 years before we see him again. The reason may well be because the manager has found a way to manage his fitness, aka play him sparingly or play him where he doesn't need to run as much, if that makes sense, and still be effective, if that makes sense. Mourinho is available. You want Mourinho at Chelsea? Remember, I get it. A lot of Chelsea fans weren't happy when he was sacked, but a lot of people wanted a more progressive manager. Is Mourinho that man? No. And you know quite well
Mourinho will get
before.
sacked, man.
Yeah. And if you know, well, Mourinho fully well, you know him coming back, nothing permanent. Even if you put a ring on his finger, say, I hear thee, wed thee, or pronounce thee husband and wife, you and Chelsea Football Club. The next 2-3 years, Mourinho will ask for a divorce. And these owners, they don't want that. And I'm going to go back to telling you, irrespective of whether you think the Chelsea owners, whether you think they're doing things the right way or the wrong way, the truth remains they want what's best. They want sustained success. They want to start winning. You can bring up the argument that, yeah, they've been spending the wrong way. They've been signing the wrong players. And I'll listen to you. Yeah, chances are you're making a good point. If you get my point. So, but Mourinho, they don't want his sort of manager right now. In his case, I mean, there's history that proves, yeah, he's not that sort of manager you'd sign and keep him long term. No, he's not. And given that things have changed in football from a financial perspective, if you get Mourinho, you'd have to, yeah, sign a lot of players again for things to work. But that's right. Anyway, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Why play Fofana at right back? It wasn't right back, at most right center back. Go pay attention to the application again. But maybe, I don't know. I watch it again. Maybe you're correct. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I don't want to. I don't want us to lose games. But our coach has cost us, and everyone. I hit the like button. He may well be the reason, but I don't think he was the reason we lost to Arsenal. And something else I already said that I'm going to say again. Had we gone into that game against Arsenal with the players we currently have, with the way we approached the game at the start of the season, chances are the game could have ended 9 to Arsenal and 3 to us. Yeah, because we can't defend. We cannot defend. They can defend way better than us. It was never manager bounce. It wasn't. Remember, he didn't start well. Actually, we lost opening day to Manchester City. All right, Kim Sui is here now, and I really wanted Enzo Maresca to secure what? I really wanted Enzo Maresca to secure UEFA Champions League spot just to humble the doubters. It could still happen. Chances are it's not going to happen because right now it's not entirely in our hands. No, it's not. We still hope that the other teams keep losing while we win because the fixtures ahead aren't looking rosy for us. Okay, I remember you said that, and I like it when you said something is going to happen, Kim. So, happy with the midfielders. I think we're packed in that area. All right, I'm going to scroll down. I will probably skip some of your comments, and I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 11 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. And remember, something I haven't told you: the Blue Morning Show is back every day. Yep, 3:30 a.m. CST. That is Central Standard Time. It's back and it's back to stay and it's not going anywhere. Okay. You miss Sorry, we disrespected him. Some of Chelsea fans wanted him to go. Chelsea fans, here's the thing. Chelsea fans are actually to get very easy to get to behave in certain ways. Sari was an excellent manager, but only those that understand football understood at the time that he knew exactly what he was doing and that we can only get better under him. But the moment pundits on Sky Sports and other places started saying sorry ball, not sorry ball, Chelsea fans picked it and ran with it, and that changed their mindset about a manager who was doing very well, a manager that Pep Guardiola found very difficult to play against. But unfortunately, yeah, the media play Chelsea fans like the fiddle. Like a fiddle, yeah. So the moment they started saying sorry ball, no sorry ball, that's it. I think Tim Sherwood, he was the one that started using that term sorry ball, and it picked up, and that's it. Chelsea fans started hating on Sarri. So yeah, Tosin knows how to organize the team and better than Levi Colwell. No comparison actually needed. He's way better than him. Sorry, let me see. I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. If I just again decide to read all you have there, that'd be all we do for the rest of the day. Whether or not he wanted Felix is he's your player, your player. Yep. How many managers have gotten players they didn't want, but those players have offered a lot. Yeah. Sometimes you have to make do with what you have. It's really that simple. Vic, I'm waiting to see some hate from Vic. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of hate. Who changed his name to Wax? I think that's God of Frogs. Maybe Mudrik would have saved us. Honestly, I do miss him. Say what you like about him. I think managers probably know managers know how to scapegoat him. But if you play that guy, play him consistently, there's a player in him, and we've seen flashes of what he's capable of doing. All right, to the very bottom, apologies, I can't read everything you have, but of course, if does Vic have anything as a paid member? Okay, he's having a good conversation with the community. If you watched, let me see what he has to say here. If you watched the past managers are back, okay, you might want to ask Droba Balak JT to come back as well. I've moved on, honestly. I think the best thing in life is to always not start comparing the past with the future if you really want to do well, in my opinion.
Facts.
Let's see what else we have here. The sporting directors are worse than yeah. Are you still Maresca? Yeah, I no grounds. Is he perfect? No. And there's something else I have to look at today based on what Vic said in the chat. He's not perfect, but I don't think no grounds to start screaming Maresca out. It's really that simple. Yeah, so but that's me. Let's see what else we have here. Maybe Maresca doesn't trust Tosin, possibly, but I think he's played him well enough to know that he trusts him. But maybe you may well argue that's probably because Fafana wasn't available. Let's see what else we have here. All right, let's go. I'm not reading such comments really. You were parting in I support every manager that comes in, but when I see enough to say that manager isn't it, I did say it. I liked Potter before he became our manager. Here's the biggest lesson I've learned is that those managers you're calling for Chelsea to get, wait until they become Chelsea manager. That's when you know. I think that's when you really know whether they're good enough, if that makes sense. Did Maresca really? Wow. I mean, you may well be correct, but I think he's a good manager. What I think for now that I don't think he is a good man manager, which is a different thing altogether. Um, Yeah, so maybe he learns how to be a good man manager. I'll go back to saying a good man manager wouldn't come out openly and say Jao Felix isn't playing because we have Cole Palmer. That's essentially saying to Jao Felix, you're not good enough. So it just doesn't make sense at all. Yeah. So, but that's by the way, Bobby. I don't know if you have anything else to say before we talk about the racial abuse of what's his name of Wesley Fafana, aka Wes, and I think that's a message for you. Sorry, I just clicked another window to open, and that usually slows down my system. Bobby, here's a message for you. He's horrible at everything, Coach. Kim, so you're back. You're not gonna give me breathing space now. Bobby, if you're there, this is a message for you. Rich Moneymaker saying, tell Bobby, would you take Gareth Southgate? The SDs like him. Mm-mm.
No,
I don't like you anymore.
no. The direct answer to that is no. It's a very difficult one when it comes to the manager. I haven't yet reached Maresca out,
No, I
but
haven't.
I'm at the point of Maresca. I'm watching
Show
you.
me what you got.
Exactly, I'm watching you. But as a replacement, I don't think Southgate is the answer for Chelsea. I know that the whole project, where Maresca is concerned, it's going to take time. Of course it is. I just want to see
No
certain
shortcuts.
things.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I know managers all have their blueprint and their way. I know that. But I want to see certain things. There's certain basics that cannot be compromised simply because of the league you're playing in. And I cannot, I mean, I've said this time and time and time and time again. I do not like to see my team bullied. I do not like to see my team not being able to stand up to the fight. And that's what happened yesterday. You know, we were spanked. They toyed with us. They had their big guys at the back that we didn't
Damn,
threaten
Bobby.
at all. They just sort of left us to mess around in front of them. We never really got behind them because we couldn't. You know, we didn't have the legs, we didn't have the physicality, we couldn't
I would go to the
out.
extent of saying we didn't have the talent to beat them when they started defending deep. We didn't have enough talent to
Well,
beat them.
well, that's true, but when you see that Pedro Neto, he made some efforts, but he just couldn't get by them. He just did not have that physicality to cause them any problems. So we just passed the ball in and around in front of them and did absolutely nothing. I don't like to see that at all. At least with Nicholas Jackson, he would have been harassing those centre backs. That's what he does. You know, he runs at them,
And Bobby,
pushes them.
credit to you. Credit to you. You did say that we're weak, but you weren't specific. You said the entire team was weak, which I think it was Jude Meso Oladipo, the CEO of Chelsea FC Jingle, who said, "Yeah, from an attacking perspective, we're definitely weak." And it turns out that was the case. But go ahead with what you were saying. And I was thinking
Well,
with a more fluid approach, we were gonna. You could say that it was going to be difficult for them to stop us. But it turns out our players in the front line seemed confused, especially in the first half. But go ahead.
well, of course they'll be confused because there was no way through. And you're saying from an attacking perspective, I think in the midfield too. Thomas Partey and Declan Rice just bullied Caicedo and Fernandez. They took full charge of the midfield, and when you do that, you're on top in any game. You know, it was embarrassing. It was I felt embarrassed. I don't like. I mean, we just we looked like fluff. We looked like fluff on that field. There was just nothing there. I don't know what Moses Caicedo saw. Maybe, you know, in his delusion in that game, he felt they did something because Arsenal took their foot off the pedal. But Moyes, you know, I love you, my brother, but I have to tell you, you guys were crap. Absolute crap. You did nothing in that game. Um, it's just one to forget. It's because of how well we did in the first half of the season that we are where we are today. But, they can't keep taking that for granted. I'm hoping that there's a way out. I really am. But, I'm thinking,
I think
who,
we'll be Houston. We'll finish better than we did last season. This season, next season, I think we'll be tied to
well,
contenders.
well,
Honestly, and I
you
did.
say that, coach, but,
Mhm. I
you,
don't say
you
that every
can't,
season.
nobody knows. Nobody knows until it happens. Noni Madueke is not back till April. Mark Gui is not back till the end of April. Yeah, Jackson might be back after the international break, but what's his physical condition? It's not looking good. Who knows how long Cole Palmer's out for? It's not looking good. The squad is stupidly thin. And Maresca has got to be a part of that. Everybody is quick to blame the sporting directors, the ownership, but quite frankly, I take things from basic principles, and it starts and stops with Maresca. It was his team. He was allowed to do what he wanted to do, even to the point where he froze out some of the club's playing assets. And they said, fine, okay, giving the club a headache. Not that I disagree with that sort of act, especially with people like Raheem Sterling and to some extent Ben Chilwell. I got fed up with Chilwell and all his injuries. But the point I'm making was that he's been given the opportunity to do what he likes with the squad he chose to work with, but didn't work with, and decided to offload and trim down to a point where it's now unplayable. They can't play, really. It's that real. Against Arsenal, they could not play because he didn't. All he had was what he had on the field, backed up by children, and one or two returning injuries. Not acceptable. Although having said that, I do take the very very good point that was made about his rotating the centre backs too much. I don't think he should do.
I gave Vic
Yes,
that idea.
yeah, it's a good idea. They played against the Danish side, and I think the turnaround wasn't that great that they could not have played again against Arsenal. And you're right, Tosin has proved to be the best centre backs back. Why isn't he playing him? This is what I don't understand. Why is you're playing him in the Conference League against a team that's significantly weaker than you? And against Arsenal, you bench him. I will never understand this man's reasoning. It's bizarre to say the least, and it just shows me that he has a lot of blind spots, things that he doesn't see. That's a deep
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that. Much love to all of you guys. Charles, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for explaining. Charles, which is a chimera, I think. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We should be doing a lot better than 10 likes. 28 people watching, 8 of those on YouTube. The rest shared between Facebook and X. Thank you for joining us. The protest did nothing. It was never going to do anything. It was senseless. It wasn't properly organized. They weren't speaking with one voice. Everybody, you can say they have sections of group of fans that went there with their own agenda, in my opinion. And apologies. Again, I'm
Can,
all for
can I
one
quickly
when we can
answer
speak
that,
with one
Coach?
voice. Sorry?
Can I quickly answer that? The
Yeah, go
protest
ahead.
did nothing. What did he expect the protest to do? Oh, the ownership would just suddenly say, "Okay, you protested. Thanks, we're going." Come
Mhm.
on,
If
it's it.
anything, he did say something that to let them know we're not changing anything.
Well,
It's
at best, if we want to look at it as a glass half full
Mhm.
situation, you can say, okay, the protest has helped them try and get their act together in the transfer market early and do some deals that will strengthen
I
the,
mean,
the squad for next
that may
season.
well be the case.
Yeah, that's about the best you can hope for that
Mhm.
protest. Anything else, you think the owners are just going to back up and go because of a few geezers out there waving placards. It doesn't even make sense. They are so invested in the club that what we can hope for is for them to tweak their direction and strengthen the playing staff. That's about it. But all these people going on about the owners this, the owners that, they're not realistic and they're not doing us any favors, really.
Mm.
Especially now, this run into the end of the season in the situation we're in. We don't need any more problems. Certainly not from the fan base. If there's anything we should learn from the Danish team that came, did you see how their fans were? They took up the whole shed end, waving flags. They were so visible. That is support. Our fans, I don't know. We've lost so much in terms of our vociferousness, in terms of our visibility. It's sad, very sad.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Let's see. Just leave me alone, Vic. Do you've got any relations to Ty from AFTV, coach? Because your takes are outlandish. Just go away. Now I know. Indeed, that's Chimera. I just heard this. Yeah, this for me rumors. Nothing but rumors. Arsenal really toyed with us, boys versus men. Absolutely embarrassing. Wow. Jesus Christ. Okay. That's by the
That's
way.
true.
Anything else here? Xavi is available. I don't want Xavi. He's going to struggle in the Premier League, and I'm not kidding, really. Okay. I wasn't expecting an immediate reaction. Maybe in the future. Felix Shakwa. Uh, can what at all are we expecting from a championship coach? This is all the fault of the owners. Okay, if that's how you see it. But Felix, nice to see you out. I hope you're doing well, Mr. Jackwa. I think the fans are fed up of the SCs. Possibly. Possibly. Anything else here? The worst position we finished in the last past 10 years was 12th and 10th. Maresca wouldn't finish the season below 10th. If he didn't get Champions League spot next season, and then it's fair to say he's the problem. That's a sensible argument. Wish we're using the window where I can use celebrate that comment as delicious comment. Bobby, I want to start with you since you're still here. I'm sure you've seen the comment. Let's see. This is from Wesley Fofana himself. His page. 2025 stupidity and cruelty no longer hide. I mean, it's become cool to be racist, in my opinion. It's not just football. It's not just a game. When some believe that their skin color makes them superior to the others, that's the biggest issue. And here says it's time for things to change, for platforms to take action, and for everyone to take responsibility. I'm going to say this. Heston, I'm not going to tell my story, but I understand where he's coming from. I've been in places where I had to put in twice as much as effort to be recognized, but that's nothing. I don't play risk hard. I believe in my ability in what I do. Uh, Again, as an individual, my vocation. But what I want to say, it on X, I think, unfortunately, to an extent, you could say, um, being racist. Some of the things people say that are racially charged have been categorized as free speech, and that's an issue. And I think West, you just stay strong. Do your thing. If you're a good footballer, you're a good footballer. It doesn't matter whether you're brown, blue, white. It doesn't really matter. And unfortunately, irrespective of what anybody think says, racism will never go away. Do I think I'm not sure how else to phrase. I'm just going to leave it at that. Whether it's reducing, whether it's increasing, but there are certain situations that again, when the situation, there are certain ways that you could argue certain platforms, there are certain rules that they introduce that makes it more. You can say that gives the people, individuals that are racist, the platform to come say whatever they want because nothing will be done. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to hear that he's faced that. Look at the messages they sent him. This person here sent him a message. I think monkeys. Same with this person here. Same with 1, 2, 3 accounts of 4. Next one here, call them FNNIGGA and all that. I mean, this shouldn't be happening. It's an unfortunate situation, but I think he should stay strong. He's in the public eye, a footballer, a professional footballer. I think definitely he's still a lot of this will still come his way in the future. But that's, by the way, Bobby. If you want to come in, if you have anything to say about that, so we can move on to discussing the Arsenal game proper.
I guess what I will say about that, because staying quiet is a pointless position to take. Look, the first thing I will say is that this word racism, it's already a misnomer. The so-called racists are the people that brought it into existence to dehumanize those that they want to discriminate against. Racism doesn't exist. Why? Because we're all one race. What we're dealing with is discrimination. That's a different kettle of fish. And what we have here is that, look, we've all been on X. Let me tell you, on X, formerly Twitter, my block and delete button is very ready to be used. I've been in situations sometimes where I've had people abuse me and abuse me and abuse me, and I give 3 warnings. I'm like, look, if this continues, I will block you. And if it's rare, I can count barely on one hand the number of people I've actually blocked. I don't normally bother. I let people just say what they like, and when they're tired, we move on. That's one thing. Now, this is a high profile person playing football. Look, he's going to get people from other fans, rival fans, coming and abusing him and pretending to be Chelsea fans or whatever. Even if they don't pretend, they're going to come and abuse him simply because he plays for a rivaling team. A lot of these people are probably kids. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse, but it's very easy to hide behind a keyboard and do these sort of things. Why Wesley Fofana, with the profile he's got, internalizes this sort of thing is beyond me. I mean, what does he really expect? Out playing football on the pitch, you hear a lot of abuse. So, what does he expect from a keyboard and an X? That's one side. Now, however, does it justify it? No. Should things change? Probably. But discrimination will always be there to some extent. The only thing that helps reduce it or get rid of it is evolution. When people get used to different things, where conduct changes, where a demand for standards change, and where it becomes fully delegitimized. For example, in the workplace, when I first started work XYZ number of years ago, you could racially abuse somebody at work. It would be frowned upon, but it wasn't illegal. Today it's illegal. You do it, and it's openly do it, and you will lose your job on the spot. And if you're not careful, maybe even arrested. So these things are part of the evolution. Another part of the evolution is that the world is a smaller place. People are more traveled. People see different people from different parts of the world. And then the discrimination um, sort of transcends the color of their skin and leans more into the content of their character. The sad thing about that is that with the content of their character, people who are prone to discrimination will use it and generalize. You can't cure a sick world, but you can speak up, which he's done, but he's not going to get an instant result. He's spoken up. Those of us with a brain will support him. We know it's wrong. We know that even on X, it's wrong because, the algorithms actually does hunt down and does block people, you get warnings about offensive language, despite the fact that it is a free speech zone.
Hmm.
But you can't expect that much more than that at this point in time. And if I were him, if he's highly offended by some of these things, or if it's too persistent, one thing that does hurt them is if he comes off the platform for a while. If he's not there to be targeted. And they get very frustrated by that. His reaction, they love it. They love it that they've hurt him. And it will encourage them to keep doing that. That is, if they're even allowed to still exist on the platform, because as I've said, the platform does limit offensive language. You get warnings, you get suspensions, and you can be completely thrown off. So that's all I'll say about that. You
Yeah.
know, we all know racism is wrong. We all know it's for any decent human being. See me using the word racism, I meant to, now I've got used to it. Discrimination is wrong. For any decent human being, it's abusing people for certainly for something that they cannot control, they don't, you know, they were born with, which is the color of their skin. Is It's absolutely ridiculous, and it is unacceptable. I think that's quite clear. And that's it. You know, what else can we do? If I were him, I would give X a break, stay away from it for a while.
I mean, for your mental stability, sometimes you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ty, I don't know if you have anything to add to that. Houston, I think even though we haven't specifically, you could say, made it clear that we're talking about the game, I think we've actually talked enough about the game. Not by design, but because that's the priority of every Chelsea fan when discussing anything Chelsea related. Ty, if you have anything to add to the Fofana case, because if you can run it off earlier, I'd be happy. I promised my boys I was going to take them out to play soccer in the backyard because they've been kicking it around inside the house, and But go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, what Bobby just said is very interesting. A lot of people may not like it, but the thing is, like a lot of these words, they stem from the creation of persons who were discriminated against. If you look at the history of a lot of these words, you realize where they come from. Where you say, okay, I mean, basically, in the definition of racism, it's literally discrimination, prejudice. So basically, you're using words that already exist to define a word as well. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, the only solution is to just simply take a break from it, because at the end of the day, it makes no sense. You give attention because that's all they want. They want attention, and by you publicizing it, fine. Maybe, as Bobby said, the cases where they are sanctioned, or they get punished, or they get a warning about it, but that's about it. Nothing's going to change. So I'm not going to say ignore it, because at the end of the day, it always will pop up, but at the same time, giving it as much attention in the sense of, okay, this is the case or that's the case, then that's not the right thing to do. It's not a good thing to happen. Discrimination is never good, but I don't think publicizing it will rectify the issue, in terms of him saying, okay, in 2025, whatever the case may be, it
I
basically
mean,
just
you're
shows that.
giving them the publicity they're seeking.
Right. Exactly. And that gives them the momentum and the motivation that was, okay, I got under his skin, so I can probably do this to him again, or do this to somebody else, because that's it. And as Bobby said, a lot of the times it's young people who just, they either feel frustrated because of something, and they just say, okay, let me just send an emoji, and an emoji is just an emoji at the end of the day. They I'm not gonna go into the whole evolution business, because that's too far. But yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much, Ty. I sincerely do appreciate you finding time to be part of the show, and the legendary, the OG Bobby. I appreciate you. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. And remember, we have the Chelsea Alliance show on coming Friday. Will be on Ty's. Next one, it will be on Ty's YouTube channel. The Blue Morning Show comes on 3:30 a.m. every day. Sorry, Sorry if you can hear the voice. This place is
Yeah,
not
yeah, it's
soundproof
okay.
yet. I want to say thank you to Kim So, thank you to Felix, thank you to Mr. Wax, thank you to Namaya Fawale, thank you to Kim So, Majesty, Vic was here, and Richie Money Mekos was also here. And if I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. No knock. With every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone's just to bed, and there was a strife. God, you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. No knock. With every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone's just to bed, and there was a strife. God, you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky. Just
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world that all hearts open wide. From Stanford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone's estimate, every was a strife. You, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world that all hearts open wide. From Stanford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone's estimate, every was a strife. You, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world that all hearts open wide. From Stanford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real dust, and then with a love this storm. Every phone says to bed, and there was a strife. How you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like a soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea's spirit shines, bright lights up the sky. Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea's spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real of dust, and then with a love this storm. Every phone says to bed, and there was a strife. How you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like a soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea's spirit shines, bright lights up the sky. Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side. Every challenge,